Mind Muscle Hustle podcast with the Strength Emporium. Guys, head to thestrengthemporium.com and get the Strong to the Core package. It's a good one to get you started off with the plank bar. Tonight we have Josiah from the Hub. He is an entrepreneur, fitness, cook, helping people change their lives, man. We're excited to have him here. He's a friend of Jonathan's. And what's going on, Josiah?
Not a whole lot. Having a great day and excited to be here with you guys.
Heck yeah, man. Thank you for coming on. We really appreciate it. We got Caleb fresh off of COVID.
Finally back.
Finally back, man. It's been a long time. How you feeling, buddy?
Pretty good, man. Almost 100. Not quite, but happy to be here. Happy to see you guys.
Good.
I'm glad you're alive, buddy.
Me too.
We've missed you.
We have, man. It's not the same without you, bro. Jonathan, and we also got Jonathan here today. Jonathan, how you doing, sir?
I'm doing good.
So, guys, man, Josiah, tell me about the Hub, will you?
Sure. Yeah. So the Hub started way back in 2011. That was my business partner founded it.
Okay.
Luke Owens.
Okay.
So he started the whole thing up, and he just kind of got into the gym business when he was like, I want to do something to really help people and try and change people's lives. And so he's like, I got all these skills. What can I do? He's like, I'm going to start a gym.
Yeah.
So he originally bought like an old Access Fitness a couple years before 2011. And then he and his wife, Lily, founded the Hub Gym in 2011. So fast forward a couple of years, about 2017, end of 2017 was about when I came on the scene. So I came on the scene there, and I was actually just needing a part-time job because I was going through like a divorce, and I had my business was suffering as a result because it was caught up in some stuff with litigation, and I was like, this sucks. So I got a part-time job working there. I had always been into fitness earlier in life, and got into that originally wanting to like be a personal trainer and have something that like, cool, this can, bridge the gap.
Yeah,
and,
for sure.
But I got involved there and eventually started it was kind of just to start from the very bottom and worked all the way up to eventually becoming the manager there. Nice. And in end of 2019, we had that opportunity to buy out a business partner. And by that point, I had really grown to love the community. I loved what the Hub stood for. And I was talking to Luke, and I was like, man, I want to buy in. Yeah. And I didn't know at that time that a business partner wanted to be bought out. And so
fortuitous event right there.
Right.
Yeah, for sure.
So he just told me, he was like, dude, I got this business partner wants to be bought out. Like, if you can come up with the money. And I was like, let me go apply. So I applied for a loan, and I've been working with a bank for a long time, and they were like, yeah, we'll loan you the money. How much you want? I was like, yes, that's awesome.
Yeah, man.
So that was kind of the story of how I came to own the Hub.
And you dove in head first right then, huh?
Yeah. So
you manage, you don't specifically train?
Not anymore. I mean, I train some. I mostly I help us develop some of the programs that we use now, and like we have like a Hub Strong training program that's kind of bridging a gap between personal training and just doing it by yourself. So things like, it's only using like limited tools or specific tools. And so, but I'll do some training with that. Yeah. And then, that's the main training I do over there.
So haven't you lost a bunch of weight?
Yeah, dude, I was, when I first started at the Hub, so I was kind of both a physical mess and a emotional mess and all that. And I was like 255 pounds.
Wow.
And I lost weight all the way down to 175. And that was really just, that was a mix of just slowly developing or redeveloping my love for cooking in a way though that was healthier. And then also just relearning a lot that I thought I used to know about training and improving how I looked at it with training. And, I used to be one of those people that I was always just like, it doesn't matter. You just have to have the mental fortitude and you can get through anything. Yeah, to an extent that's true, but eventually that like go get 'em attitude, it sometimes wears out.
Yeah.
So you have to have something more than that motivates you to move forward.
Like like structure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And structure is something like that's now probably one of the bigger things that I do, like with our team.
Yeah.
We have so many. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, yeah, that makes perfect sense because it applies to both. It
Right.
applies to the training aspect, the diet aspect, and the business aspect of it as well.
And over the last couple of years, it's really I kind of developed like a program that if for most people, if they could get like 70% of their goal, they'd be happy.
Yes.
Because in reality, like 100% of your goal, when you have some people that are like, I want to get in incredible shape, and I want to have abs, I want to have huge freaking muscles and be just so jacked, be absolutely shredded. Like, sure, yeah, but like going 100% on that to really get up to that point takes work.
It's a lot.
It can mess with your hormones. It can
a lot of consistency.
Yeah, a lot of consistency, and for a long time. So most people we found, like if they could get 60, 70% of the way there, they'd be more than happy. Like ecstatic to be where they like 60 or 70% of the way there. So that was kind of where, we just started laying it out in stages. Like in order to go from where you're at to make progress on your goal, like first thing is you just have to do something consistently. Like start developing that routine and the program. Like it doesn't, when it comes to like your diet or nutrition, it doesn't matter if you're like, okay, I'm going to do the perfect diet and I'm going to do this diet or this diet because this one's perfect. Like it really doesn't matter as long as you're paying attention to the food you're eating, the calories you're eating. That's a start. Like that's a place where everybody can start at. You don't have to be 100% of the way there today. Excuse me.
So I remember in the past, like now you have your own cookbook.
Yes,
out,
I do.
Which is pretty cool. I have it. I own it.
Yes.
And and so he's got like
signatures are like 25 cents a piece.
Oh yeah. I need two. But you've got like healthy French toast and like trying to be like give people something where they can eat somewhat normal and enjoy their food and still reach their goals. But I remember in the past you've gone through like keto and carnivore and all the stuff. And so do you feel like you're kind of coming to a point of like, that's more of the balance is just like enjoy your diet, like get through it basically. As long as you're reaching the goals, isn't that the main? Yeah. And that book is probably a lot closer to helping you just at least reach your goals no matter what your aversion to healthy food is.
Yeah. For sure. Yeah. I mean, I'll talk to you can talk to somebody who had, cause you're right. I've been all the way from like paleo into keto. Then I did vegetarian and vegan at one point. I did carnivore. I did now it really is. It's weird how the law of thermodynamics doesn't change. It just stays the same. So as long as you're consuming appropriate amounts of protein and you're keeping your calories in check, if you can enjoy what you're doing and like the style of eating that you get to follow, then it's going to work for you.
You know what I found? that fat-free cheese at like Walmart? I know it's horrible, right? Like the protein is like pretty high.
Fantastic.
There's nothing, if I can afford it, because it's like $5 a bag, and a bag is like one meal. Like I'm putting that on.
You got to get it from Reese's.
Reese's? Yeah, is it cheaper there?
They'll do it for, they'll have like their sale if you have your Reese's card where you can get like 2 of them for like $4.
Yeah.
It's great.
Like quesadilla, like just straight up quesadilla, like lazy food eating. It's like
straight,
30 grams of protein, no fat. And
just straight cheese.
It's like
with the tortilla.
I don't know if it's cheese, bro. It's like it's like whey protein powder with xanthium gum and like sawdust maybe. But
it's a whole different thing from the low fat cheese, which is already a step away from cheese.
Yeah, this
stay
is
alive.
Something else, but it's good enough.
It's like cheese product.
Yeah.
Well, if you add like sodium citrate to it, then it stays like runny like regular cheese. So when you heat it normally, when you heat fat-free cheese, they separate. Like the protein and whatever else in it separates, but then the sodium citrate actually keeps it bound together, so it doesn't
Whoa.
separate. So
Whoa.
you can make like queso with it. It's awesome.
Jonathan's a pretty simple eater, though. He's been posting some of his recipes in the Discord.
Yeah.
And they're all labeled trash can
That's how I
lunch.
eat.
Trash can lunch.
Trash can
Even if it's dinner, it's trash can lunch.
Trash can dinner.
Trash can dinner.
I got
ramen
no.
noodle tacos.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, like,
They're just simple. They're very simple, which I have I've started to actually respect the simplicity in the diet a little bit more. It's been good for me because you get really attached to enjoying your food all the time, and sometimes you just gotta eat it for what it is and get it done.
I have a like an ADHD type insanity where I can hyper focus on stuff, and so if I get into cooking, I'm gonna get way into cooking, and it's gonna be Gordon Ramsay like butter and just like as bad as you can make it. I'm gonna go there.
Tablespoons of butter for a pasta.
Yeah, because once I decide this is about flavor, it is only about flavor, and so I have to stay away from that and just keep it simple because that's the only way that I'll just like eat my food and shut my mouth, or shut my brain and quit going like more butter, more cheese, because that's my general tendency.
Somebody got me one of those like pizza stones. And this was like when I was like 400 pounds and going up in weight,
Yeah.
And I spent like 2 months just trying to figure out pizza, different cows. Like it was not a good idea.
So when I first got into cooking, my wife we were dating, and she bought me a set of knives, like really nice, like it's like $600 set of kitchen knives.
Shout
right?
out Mackenzie.
Oh, yeah.
Always hooking it up.
Killing it. Sugar mama. So I just dove in on YouTube, right? I'm learning everything Gordon Ramsay's got to say and anybody else. And the first thing I tried to tackle was fettuccine Alfredo.
Oh, nice.
And so it was like fettuccine Alfredo every day.
Oh, my God.
I was in shape back then, bro. Like I was pretty lean.
That was the beginning of the dirty bulk.
It was right before my eggnog experience, but
Eggnog explosion.
I didn't know it existed. And when I discovered eggnog, that's when the fat came.
Oh,
There's at least a gram of protein in eggnog, right?
Yeah, and I don't know what else is in there, man, but if you drink like a 32-ounce jug every day for 6 months while it's available, you will get really fat. And I don't care how much you're working out, you're going to get fat.
Yeah, you can't outwork the eggnog.
I've tried. I've been trying for a minute, y'all. It's not happening.
They had some soy eggnog that was pretty good.
Oh, no.
And it was like half the calories, but then I would just drink twice as much. I'd mix it with rum or whiskey. Drink like 2 cartons of that stuff in the wintertime, man. It was
in
not
the
good.
wintertime.
Jonathan was over at my house watching me one day. He goes, man, you have any idea how many thousands of calories you just consumed today? I was like, I don't care. He's like, clearly.
The results are positive, bro.
Dude, Caleb sent me a picture the other day of you're holding up those pants. You're like, people don't believe me when I say I've lost weight. And man,
But they don't believe that I was 500 pounds.
Yeah,
I was like 495. Legit.
Those pants were like, they're big, man. Yeah. It's pretty. That's a lot of weight you dropped, man, and definitely proud of you, and continue to see you killing it.
Thanks.
Take some work.
Aww.
Hey.
So where can they get your cookbook, Josiah?
Well, it's actually available anywhere online books are sold. So you can buy it on Amazon. You can pick it up at the Hub if you're like, I cannot wait. And
What's it called?
It's called Make Your Meals Epic.
Amazon. That's where I got mine.
It's delicious on Amazon.
Yeah.
It's more delicious through there.
It is.
I'm gonna have to pick up a copy for sure.
Working on Make Your Meals 2 Epic, which is actually going to include more of the dessert or more of the entrees and breakfasts as well. Because I don't think I put any breakfast in the first one.
French toast.
Oh,
right?
I did have the French toast. You're right.
I think so.
So I didn't put very many breakfasts in the first one, but because I was working on it, I was like, oh my gosh, it's taking actually a long time to like cook one serving and then get a good photo of it, and then you're like you do like 5 variations of it when you're trying to take the photos of it and everything. You're like, this photo sucks, man. Who's my photographer? It was me. I was terrible.
So like that French toast is legit, and I probably kind of put my own spin on it, but if I have like a gluten intolerance. I can't eat much gluten or I start swelling up no matter what, but I can, bro, it's like 70 grams of protein.
So good.
And you're eating, I don't know, it's pretty good. The only thing that really bothers me though is like I put sugar-free syrup on it. And that's kind of like a big no-no.
You do the sugar-free syrup?
Well, if you're trying to treat yourself and not get fat, yeah.
Or, I recently I made this one because I've been working on a lot more dessert recipes as well. I had a burp there. I made high-protein frosting.
Oh, he let me try that, man.
This stuff is so
you know, like the center of like an oatmeal cream pie.
It's like that.
Bro, it was like that, but
protein,
not bad for me. So I could have eaten like a whole bowl of just icing.
Imagine you would do
imagine
that.
Icing a cake with that.
Oh,
and like I've been working on cake recipes too. Like trying to get like yogurt cake that doesn't taste like crap.
Yeah, so you're really getting in with the research and development, huh?
Oh man.
Nice. So, I imagine it takes a lot of hours to.
You sometimes run out of time in the day, yeah. But it's definitely a blast trying to figure out like, okay, I know like that's one of the things that I'll do a lot with like clients at the gym. They'll say like, dude, I love X, Y, or Z food, and like the next week I show up with like, hey man, I made this for you. I want you to try this out. And so that was how I developed. I first developed like a deep dish pizza recipe. That's one of the ones in the book, because somebody was like, "Dude, I tell you what, I miss deep dish pizza." And so I made the crust and everything that is like, and I think there's like 4 carbs in the whole thing, and it's like 50 grams of protein.
Deep dish with only 4 carbs.
Yeah, it's stupid.
Wow.
There's a fair amount of cheese in there. But still.
We keep coming back to this amazing ingredient.
Cheese is so good.
Cheese is delicious. Dude, I don't think I could ever give it up. My fridge is stacked with cheese right now, actually.
I even figured out now, like, there's way, like I made, I've been working on this one. I made McDonald's chicken nuggets.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, you don't need to put cheese in that one.
No, you didn't make them out of cheese.
You can put cheese in it. It's
I want
delicious
cheese
that
in
way.
mine
But
for
like,
sure.
oh yeah, but like there's just simple ways that you just alter how you cook, and it's not like things like that cost extra money.
Mm-hmm.
That's usually that's a hard part that a lot of people are trying to get through their heads, that like everybody associates like healthier eating is more expensive, but it's not. I would say it's no more or less expensive than what everybody's already doing.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's kind of like, do you want to have a hard time not working, but like can't pay for all your food and can't do all your stuff, or do you want to work really hard and then like make it by, but you have to like pay for everything and live in society and life? And I'd be like,
well, but they also have to learn something new, and with learning how to cook, like especially the way you're doing it, you really have to read the book. Like you got to dive in and like learn these new things and try them and mess them up and get them right. And then so like people don't want to go that in depth with stuff.
Sure.
It's tough. It's like just the same with like when you're trying to teach them how to work out, and like people want you to like hand them some, like plug them in like the Matrix so they can understand everything. But you know how long it takes to learn everything?
oh man.
And so it's really tough to get people to get on board with like putting the effort in to learn something.
Yeah. And that's why like a lot of especially new training clients, like they have this anticipation that or at least in my experience, they want to, they're like, I have to train like all the way till I can't move anymore. That's what you have to do. And I'm like, it's not like that's going to make you hate it.
Yeah. Like, and you're going to be out for the next week because you're sore and can't walk and move.
So it's like, that's probably not a wise decision to do that. Like you should train like ease your way into it and get to where you can make it a routine first.
I get worried about telling people to do easy things, but I do, like, there's the thing, like, you need to be able to work out tomorrow.
Yeah.
And so whether you want to do that by toughing it out or go just enough today that you can still show up tomorrow, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
This is like a personality thing. And like some people just need beat downs.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I was staring Zach intimately into the eye. We call those tune-ups.
Yeah.
But then some people they literally have to be slowed down or they will explode.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I remember after some workouts and I was working behind the bar and we had huge cabinets that we would have to get into, and I literally could not. it was like dreadfully painful just to reach above my head.
Zach has this thing where he kind of like, he feels like he needs to pay penance for something that doesn't exist. And so we use the workouts for him to whip himself like a... And so then he's like,
right over here.
I feel like I'm okay now that I've beaten myself into the dirt.
I'm a glutton for pain, man. What can you say?
Lots of times going in the gym, seeing dudes just laying in a puddle on the floor.
Yeah, man. The sweat angel is a real thing.
Yeah, the sweat angel. Yeah, that's what it was.
There's an age though, about 24 to 28, where it's like, we're here for the punishment. That's what this is about.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm right at the tail end of that, where I'm like, I don't want to be here for the punishment anymore.
The day I hit 30, I realized like this is no longer a viable option anymore.
Yeah,
I'm a slow learner. I'm not as bad as I once was, though.
Yeah.
I'm not as bad as I once was. You got to be able to work out the next day, but sometimes you do need a tune-up, man. Sometimes you got to push it a little bit, and it's good for the.
That's exercising your demons.
Yeah,
there's a big difference between like training for a result and exercising demons, and both. Sometimes they have to happen.
Yeah.
Demons need a tune-up too.
You got to make your body hurt so much they don't want to be in there no more.
That's the real exercise.
You live like this?
That's true.
Everything hurts.
We just sledded the demons right out of it.
Oh man,
Josiah, do you have a sled at the hub? You guys?
Yes, but we don't really have like the best place to use it.
Oh yeah,
so
the run is important.
Yeah, we don't have a good sled run, and we have an area out back, but it's like outside, and which not that that's bad, but it's like
it's not convenient.
Gritty asphalt, so it like grips onto it. And there's little dips in there, and so the sled gets stuck in there. It just sucks.
It's not smooth.
No.
So
it's got to be a smooth surface.
Oh yeah, I'd love to. I'm working on something to like see if we can push the south wall out like 20 feet and have a big like what would that be like a 75-yard sled run, which would be awesome. Maybe not even maybe 50 yards, but still.
50 yards is enough.
That's it's enough to make some pain, but there's a lot of expensive costs and materials at the moment.
Yeah, no doubt. It's important. I think it's a essential piece of equipment, but sometimes you're looking at different spots and you're like, well, where are we gonna sled? And it can be a little bit of an issue, but when you got the right surface and the right people around, it's a great time. Definitely enjoy it.
So I know you're into like a lot of different businesses and you're doing all kinds of stuff all the time, but so what do you do? Is like the cooking like your main passion outside of like, is that your hobby? What else do you do?
Okay, so I got like 3 things that are really more, it's hobbies that are slowly developing into businesses. So cooking is one of them. So like, even though I have a book, you make like, I think you make like $2 in profit per book that's sold on Amazon. Mm-hmm. So you sell 100 books and you're like, yes, what do I get? And you're like $200. You're like, it's like $14 on Amazon or something after tax, and it's like I make only $2 per book, and it's like get over it because Amazon's putting out the money for that or something.
Right.
But so eventually, I do hope to have that be like a business. A business that's really effective, but that's going to take some time to get it up there. And I think once I have like multiple books going, that's going to mean a lot more to people because it won't just be like a single item. But cooking is definitely a more of a hobby, more of a passion. I really like music. I've been so I made one of those platforms on YouTube where they you just upload music that's like, okay, this is like study music, or this is like lo-fi, or this is music that people can listen to, just chill out, have a good time.
So you're into lo-fi?
Oh, I love all kinds of music except I hate country and rap. So
I get it, dude. I totally get it.
I like the lo-fi though, the chill hop and lo-fi and
awesome.
all that. Yeah,
dude, that's my stuff. That's my jam right
it's
there.
Cool.
Man.
It's cool.
I've really got into music without any words. It allows me to my head clears and it just puts you in a nice. I mean, you could study to it. You could do whatever you want to do. It's really good. It's great for great for the soul, man.
Absolutely.
Not to the slap rock anymore, Zach?
No more slap rock, man. No more slap rock.
You know what I do when I want to like find new music? I go down to Curiosity, and whenever they're playing, I'll get my phone out and do like find song, and then I'm like, okay, because they play some bomb music in that place. I don't know,
dude. I keep it pretty simple, man. It's hard to get into rap these days, and country. There's some country that I do respect, like older country that can be really good. But man, new rap is hard to get behind. And pretty much if it's not like lo-fi or hippie sabotage, I'm out. I'm out.
So are you? Where do you find them, the music? How do you do that when you upload it?
So there's a couple ways that I do that with the music. So number one, I do upload it to YouTube, and I don't have a whole lot of it out. Most of it is right now it's just in files in my computer.
So you're making lo-fi is what I'm at.
Not just lo-fi.
Okay.
And so like some of it I'll make it. Some of it is like
samples?
uploading. Yeah, it's like samples from other people, and so you pull music from that like other artists have created too, and then you just label it. I want to make sure like people get credit for that sort of stuff, and get it, upload it, and have music up where one, developing artists can get some recognition, and then two, where it's music that people can enjoy and just listen to, because there's so much of it out there.
Yeah,
and
the genres go deep, man. There is a lot of stuff that you have never heard of that is really good.
Yeah.
What's the name of your channel?
It's called Left on Quincy.
Okay.
So that channel, I created that one because I was trying to figure out like what do I call the YouTube channel, and where I live right now, as I'm driving, I turn left on Quincy Street, and I live off of 6th and Quincy.
That's enough information for those psychos on YouTube to find you.
Heck yeah.
Like that is a mistake, bro.
No, that's the great thing about the lo-fi community.
You better hope so.
There's like
they're all chill,
too relaxed.
there's like 1,000 apartments right.
Bro, these people know how to do it.
Yeah, it's fine.
I saw some things where they were like,
I like guns too, so
That's a good hobby.
that does take care of a lot of problems. Presence of a sword and all that.
Yeah. I like swords too.
Zach's a musician.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Very
I've
cool.
played in some bands before, and always played a little guitar and a little bass. Both my parents are musicians.
Very cool.
And man, it's probably what keeps my family together, to be honest with you, man. We all get together and jam, and
That's awesome.
we'll sing like the dopest 5-part harmony happy birthday you ever heard in your entire life.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's good stuff, man. Definitely.
It's funny, just
I
the
tried-
simplest of things.
Tried playing the harmonica for a little while. And I thought I was getting pretty good. And then Zach was like, hey, man, I'm going to come over and jam out while you play harmonica. And then he was like, bro, he didn't tell me this, but I could see it in his eyes. He was like, you're awful. And so then I just put it down. I've never played it again.
We also tried to learn to play the didgeridoo for a while.
And we were pretty good at didgeridoo.
It's like one note you can play on that.
Yeah, exactly. One time I came over to hang out with Jonathan, and he was like, hey, man, will you show me some chords on the guitar? And I was like, yeah, sure, man. I showed him 5 little chords that you could do pretty easy. And a couple of weeks later, I was like, man, you've been playing any guitar? He was like, yeah, man, I mastered that shit, wrote a bunch of songs, and I'm pretty much done with it now.
ADHD, y'all.
The wonderful mind of Jonathan.
Yeah.
That's exactly how it works, man. You dive headfirst into everything.
I was hardcore for 3 days, and then I had it. I was over it.
You're like the most frustrating guitar student.
Yeah.
I mastered these 3 chords. I'm a professional guitar player.
Yeah.
He wrote all the songs.
I can play Pearl Jam now, y'all. Like, I'm a Pearl Jam cover band now, 1-man band.
That's all you ever need.
For real, man. For real.
Oh man. Well, I have so one of my other hobbies is I don't know if it's not really a hobby, but it's really like getting to mentor people who they're like, so when I was like 20, 21, I was like this bright-eyed, nothing could go wrong, everybody's super good and great in the world. And that just hit me like a train a little bit later in life, and learned from really rough experiences that like people actually aren't all that nice and people don't have your best interest in mind. And most of the time people are actually trying to take advantage of you for their own gain.
Yeah.
And so getting to mentor people to prepare them for that, it's not really that's why I was like, it's not really a hobby, but it's something that like, I love getting to like speak into people's lives and like help somebody who I can see is like desires to do good in the world and really wants to like help change people's lives and like prepare them for the fact that most people don't care about that and they don't care about them. But if you keep doing what you're doing, you're careful about it, you're going to really impact people and change their lives. So that's an area that's become a recent passion of mine. Just in like, you know, we were talking about like the systems and like programs that I've been developing. So like just teaching people to like establish the schedule for their life, and then you don't deviate from your schedule in life. And you can like eventually you learn how to easily flow in and out of your routines, but like just doing that, and then you start setting goals once you have something you can attainably do, and then you start getting more intense about it and just scaling things up from there. You know, some people it seems like such a basic concept, but to other people they're like, I've never thought of like creating a schedule. And I'm like, yeah, that's amazing what that can do to people. They you know, their lives like get flipped upside down, and they're suddenly like these productive, hardworking, passionate individuals that are just like, I can't wait to like become president. And you're like, holy crap! Like maybe I don't know. Maybe we
don't want to tell them no.
I don't, but like,
That's like, so when you, in basic training, when I joined the Army, I mean, that's all it's about. And because people, and it's kind of wild to think, but like people don't even know how to take a shower. Like they don't know how to like take care of themselves, like shave, like, and so you get there and they cause the most chaos they possibly can, like on purpose, and just sends people into this like whirlwind of, they forgot everything they ever thought they knew about their home life. Like, and it's kind of neat because like most people that join the military have like home problems, you know, because you got young kids getting out of high school and stuff. So they're dealing with stuff at home. When they get there, that stuff is all forgotten because you're now having to only deal with these psychotic drill sergeants, right? But then all they do while they're doing all this chaos is they drill habits. So you wake up at 4:30 a.m. to trash can music, and then your trash can music while they're driving you through to like shave, shower, like get ready and like clean up after yourself. And then it is like 9 weeks of, this is how you just take care of yourself. That's all it is. And they do take you to distract you and let you shoot a gun every once in a while. But really it's just like walk, eat in 5 minutes or less, and follow your routine. And so by the time you get out of basic training, you're, from the second you wake up to the second you go to bed, you now have a routine. And that's like the most valuable thing that I guess people like outside of the military are going to have to really work, you know, to because you don't have someone doing it for you.
Yeah.
A drill sergeant, you know.
Yeah.
That's true, man. I mean, I think a lot of that, like, you know, people ending up in the Army, they don't know how to shave or even shower. Like they had no father, or, you know, were just raised in like the craziest of environments, and you really don't even have those kind of skills. Like,
Oh no, you have no skills.
That's really weird, man. You have to learn everything from the ground up on that one.
And that's that's kind of the easy way to learn. I mean, it's not the easy way, but they're going to do it for you. You will do this, and there's no, you know, options. Like when you're on your own
contract.
Yeah, in civilian world, you have to deal with like just not following through. You know, like, oh, I'm tired today, I'm going to sit down.
Yeah.
So it's a little harder mentally for you.
Josiah, whenever you first meet someone that you think might want to help, what do you start out telling them? I mean, you just ask them what their goals are, what they want to do.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it helps to have a good idea of what they want in life.
Yeah.
But sometimes people don't even know that. I mean, sometimes people just exist.
Yeah.
And sometimes it kind of just ends there. Sometimes somebody's like, just
kind of going through the motions,
doing things, and I'm like, okay, well, if you want to be like, you know, happy and excited in life, come talk to me, because like that's my goal is if I mentor somebody and I work with them, I don't want to do this for a purpose of like you become the next billionaire. Like I'm not a billionaire, and I'm a long ways from that, and I would love to. And I think it would be cool, but I know most people die on the way there, so probably don't want to try that.
Yeah, no
it's
doubt.
I don't, one of my desires is not to die early. So
amen, brother. I feel you with that. Health is wealth.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And so this is more so about like, and it really does come down to like what's important to you.
Yeah.
So I really ask a lot, like what's important. I had a mentor spoken in my life and talked about, like, he calls it the F6s, and he calls it, it's what's your faith, your fitness, your finances, your family, friendships, and your fun. What are all those things? And if it's not one of those sixes, there's a seventh F that's just fuck off. Because if it doesn't fit into those six Fs, then it shouldn't exist in your life, or you should minimize that as much as you can.
Yeah, you shouldn't be making any space for that.
Exactly. And so it usually will take some time to just identify what those F6s are. Just like how much money do you need to just exist? And people have no clue how much money they need.
Crazy? They don't even know how much they're
like, hey,
spending a month.
Yeah. What's your fixed costs in life?
Yeah.
They're like, what's a fixed cost? And you're like, okay, so now it's a finance lesson today.
Yeah.
Fixed costs are this.
Yeah.
And so just helping people identify those things alone, sometimes that triggers something in them that they're like, oh shoot, I know what I need to do in life. And they like hit the ground running. Other times and sometimes people, because that does present a problem, because then they get overly excited because it's like, I know what I need. So that's why I like to meet with people regularly and give like little bite-sized pieces so that it's not just this one big smash of just a billion things opened up to you. And now what do you do? So once we identify those goals, that's when then I talk about like, let's create a routine where some aspect of these goals are identified in your routine, where you're working on them or you're allotting time to them, but you're not like gung-ho doing everything I can to like achieve this goal and all of this. It's like your ADHD, man, that just sometimes that'll like stress people out because
sure.
you're just
sometimes
all over the place sometimes. But I've got a guy. He works at the gym. He works for me there, and he's a personal trainer. He's got an incredible heart, and he loves people and loves to work for them. But he comes from like that, like you got to hustle every day mentality.
Yeah.
And misdirected or undirected. That hustle mentality, you just give 100% to 100 things.
Yeah,
and
instead of it being fine-tuned, focused in on something.
Exactly.
I've been there too, and it's such a frustrating thing when you're like not focused, but you're hustling on too many different things.
Yeah,
too many different irons in the fire.
Yeah,
it's just not.
And you can make a lot of progress initially, but it starts to catch up to you. You start to get burnt out. You get tired of doing a lot of this, but it doesn't go anywhere. Nothing happens. So if I can help people get a routine where it's at least in some way their F6s are identified and they can at least spend some time allotted to those things, they'll make a heck of a lot more progress in life. And then, because I'm a perfect example is like relationships, like family relationships with like a spouse, or spouse or partner or whatever. And, they say you need at a minimum like 90 minutes a week allocated to just talking about your lives and where your lives are at, and 1 to 2 times a month as like a designated like date, like you actually go out together and do things. And people think I'm crazy when I'm like, hey, and go ahead and schedule that. Yeah. Like put time aside that is only designated for that. And people are like, no, I don't need to schedule this. I want it to be spontaneous. I want it to be like in the moment. And I'm like, you will never do it. And even in my own life, like it's perfect example. So like, I think my wife is a fantastic and incredible person. And her and I, because I mean, we have between the two of us, there's like 5 companies we're working on all in all.
Yeah.
And so we're pretty busy.
Yeah.
There's sometimes there where, we're both up and working until like midnight, before we're going to go to sleep. And, but that's not every day. But one thing that we had to get really good at over this last year is allocating like specific time that we get to spend just existing together, just enjoying and doing things of life together, and knowing where each other's at. That has been one of the most powerful things that we did. Not a significant amount of time, like 15 minutes a day is literally all it takes, but just 15 minutes to like acknowledge each other's existence and to know that you're here for each other, you're doing things with each other. And like little things like that are so powerful. And I think a lot of times we just pass it by because it's like, yeah, it's 15 minutes. It's not going to do much.
Yeah.
People getting stuck in those black holes of like habit where they just never, whatever that is, whether it's, meeting your spouse for 15 minutes or whatever, they just never do it. So like your workaholic guys or whatever, like I'm just busy and I let one day go and then let a month go. And then
before you know it, you're 15 years into a marriage and you don't know who this person is.
Oh man. Cause you have changed over those 15 years. No
Absolutely.
matter what.
And another thing you said, the spontaneity thing, you can schedule something and still be spontaneous.
Right.
It's really not separable, but people do see that. Like they get triggered when they hear it, like, you can't do that because then it's not,
I have it planned. I have the next 10 Valentine's Day planned.
The 10 Valentine's
the next
Days?
10 Valentine's days.
Oh,
Me too. I ain't doing nothing for nobody.
That's right. Hear me out. My wife and I are not celebrating the next 10 Valentine's. She's not going to listen to this podcast, which is a bummer. But so I get to tell my secret. I'm not going to do anything on Valentine's Day for the next 10 years. And on the 11th year, I'm going to buy her flowers. I can't buy her chocolate. She's lactose intolerant, but I'm going to like make her, I don't know, like coconut based chocolate, something weird like that.
something sweet.
Yeah. And then I'm going to like take her out to a nice fancy restaurant and like go all out one year. And I'll be the only guy on Valentine's Day to surprise his wife with flowers.
Right.
But like, I'm just being stupid with that. But like, it's funny. Like I can prepare that and plan that out, just being fun.
Yeah.
And it'll be all exciting. But like that
sounds dangerous, bro.
Totally.
You're walking on thin ice with that one.
But hey, if your relationship is dependent on just your Valentine's Day,
Let's plan to have you back in 11 years on February 15th.
Doing this, bro. Because here's the deal. Year 1, no problem. Year 2, okay. Year 3, she's a little annoyed. Year 4, it's like murder. Like, because it escalates quickly once it starts.
But hey, I mean, that's all about communication with it too then.
Yeah.
So like I communicate with her that like, look, I don't buy into this corporate holiday.
Yo,
like this,
for
this
real.
is dumb.
Isn't it a celebration about some kind of massacre?
Valentine's massacre?
Or the killing of some saint or something like that? It's like the actual history behind it's like weird.
People will ask you what happened to your marriage and say she didn't understand my jokes.
That happens already. It's just every day. Well,
my jokes take too long to deliver the punchline. 10 years. She couldn't wait for this was an epic joke. She just couldn't wait for it. She had no patience.
It was awesome. What was it?
Oh man.
That's a little rough, man. I don't know. I think you might want to
we'll see.
pay attention.
We'll see. Maybe I'll come back on the podcast in like 3 years. Be like, yeah, that's totally not the case.
Did not work out.
But I mean, that's part of the fun of just getting to have like a routine of life that you can flow through. For that, I wouldn't say that like my relationship is dependent on that, because I know what's important to my relationship with my wife and I. I know what's important as far as like my family goes. Really for us, it's more about like the daily and weekly things that we can do together. It's not so much about like, is that one day super important? I know Valentine's Day is like really important to a lot of people, but like for us, and this is specifically for like our relationship, like that part of our marriage, like that's cool in that part of our marriage. Like it's not really important for us to celebrate like the big epic holidays so far. So now who knows, that may change, but we have enough flexibility and we connect with each other in our daily lives that we'll know if that is starting to happen. If it's like, I'd really like to get to do this, But if you're so hyper focused on one thing, you're giving like 100% effort to one thing or in one direction, you lose sight of all the other things. And that's how now, like, I can spend time working on 5 different businesses with or without my wife. There's some times where, we'll work on 2 separate aspects of the business and it takes like a week to work through it. And we haven't really communicated a lot throughout that week. But then when we do reconvene, we're able to catch up and just see where we're at, how we're doing with things, or if we do connect as far as work goes. Like it's not that hard now because we've gotten to take this time to learn how each other respond and how we react to things, because we both identified this as a priority to us. And where that sits in our priority. And we know the intentions behind other things. So like with our financial goals, financially, we want to be in a place where we have enough passive income where we don't have to work, and we can get to enjoy aspects of like traveling at low cost, just around the US. Mm-hmm. Just getting to experience that, like getting a Sprinter van and just drive that thing.
Yeah.
And then put 100,000 miles on it in like a year. Yeah. That kind of jam.
That would be really nice, man.
But like, you don't need a lot of money every month in order to do that.
No.
But you need more money to be able to sustain your businesses and pay people to be able to run certain aspects. So you can't just, build a business that now it makes $2,000 a month and then I can go travel now. Well, as soon as you step away from that business, that thing's going down to zero. Yeah. So you have to put people in place and have things like systematized and organized that they can follow, so that now, okay, great. This can be followed. This can go consistently. I can check in on this at any point whenever I want and make sure things are being done the way that it needs to be done. So knowing our financial goals, knowing what we want to do for fun, like that's it's all put in within our routine and our schedule. But that schedule over time is going to change based on how our goals change. Fitness goals for me used to be like a huge priority. Yeah. And it really used to be like one of the top 2. And my fitness goals now is really focused on don't be it's going to sound a little funny. Don't be weak, and both physically and mentally, and then be able to live a long time and be mobile. Be able to get up and down off the floor when I'm 67 years old. Yeah. Be able to, when we have kids, be able to put my boys to shame with the kind of condition and shape that I'm in when they're my age now. Yeah. Like, and to just make them look at me and be like, dadgummit, Dad's still working out harder than any of us.
Still whooping my ass.
Yeah. And like those are things that are important to me. And so in the mentoring, bringing people around to help them identify what's important to them, then we can really go somewhere and say, cool, like if this is your goal, what you have established for what's the routine you're following now, you're not going to get there. Mm-hmm. If you're wanting to become a millionaire and make this much money based on your spending habits, you're never going to get there. Yeah. Like you need to learn how to start saving money, how to invest and make your money work for you instead of just working and getting all the things that you want now. Like you don't need the nicest car when you're like 20 years old. You don't need to buy great pairs of shoes. Like you barely even need to buy new clothes every year.
Yeah. And everyone wants, the nicest car, and the nicest everything. I work at a bar, and a lot of the people that work, they're like, oh man, I'm going to get this car, I'm going to get that car. And I'm like, hey man, don't you think the real flex is having a house? Like,
sure.
I mean, or, people just want the newest stuff all the time. I mean, just looking at the iPhone.
iPhone forever.
Yeah, dude, iPhone forever. Every year, another G right into it. And it's like, man, that money could be reallocated to, many different.
I've had friends that make like decent money, like 80 grand a year or something like that. And they are like balling out, like the house, the Cadillacs, all the stuff. And then when some of them we've got close enough that you realize like, oh, their life revolves around making the payments.
Yes,
And like they're literally always having to calculate like, oh, I need to like maybe skip groceries this week because I got to make this payment. And I'm like, holy cow.
Yeah, man,
you know,
to have all those nice things.
And it seems like at some point, or like one chess piece fall off of that board, like you get sick.
Yeah.
This whole thing is going down.
Yeah, absolutely.
We'd have working in healthcare, I'd always see the nurses' aides in these different nursing homes and healthcare facilities. Like tax season would come around, they'd get like a $300 tax refund and they would quit their job. Like straight up quit.
Yeah.
For like a week or 2 weeks or
I've seen
3
that
weeks.
a lot, yeah.
And then they'd get hired back like every single year.
Wow.
Whole staff.
That's like, I mean, fast food does that every year too. They're like always understaffed right after tax season.
One thing though I find that a lot of people don't get is, saving money is good. It's good to save money, but if you don't find a way to make that money work for you, you're toast, dude. Like it's not gonna retain its value long enough for you to just sit.
Especially now.
Let alone
especially now. I mean, who knows what the real inflation number is? But that's a whole other podcast right there.
Oh man, I mean, just explaining. That's one of the things that I'll do. I'll explain inflation. Like, do you understand what inflation is? They're like, no. Like, okay, Federal Reserve's always printing money. Here's what's going on here. And just walking through the conversation before the end of it, you talk about like the banking system, and people are like, I don't want to do this anymore. Like, this sucks.
It's too much, man.
No. Here's the thing now, though. That definition of inflation is way off on whatever it is that they're actually doing, because this makes no sense.
Nothing makes any sense.
This isn't textbook inflation. This is like money magic.
Yeah,
it is.
It's gonna be a good time,
when
guys.
you create it out of thin air. That is totally what that is.
That crypto wallet.
Oh, that's true.
Here's what I don't understand. Like Tyson Chicken just did like a 19% increase on their chicken prices.
Yeah, I know.
No, they made a 20% increase on chicken prices, but they made 19% more profit than they've ever made before last year. Why? Why are we having to raise prices for inflation, but you're making record profits? This makes no sense.
It's just
because 40% profit is better than 20%.
Well, for sure. But then, like,
for them,
what are we so dumb that we just take?
Yes.
Oh, okay. You can raise our prices on our commodities.
Well, just in my conversations with people, so in the limited number of people that I've had just genuine conversations with about this, it doesn't surprise me at all. You explain to somebody that there's two forms of inflation. There's like actual inflation and how that works, and then there's lifestyle inflation with, people make more money, like you were saying, your friend makes more money, but every day
the spending goes up.
The spending goes up for it. And so now, even though you make $80,000 a year, you also have like $79,559 a year in expenses, and you're like, why can't I seem to make more and save more money? It's like, because you suck at managing money. Like, you need to learn to get better at this. But I mean, what's going on now is a little funky. And I mean, there's a lot of stuff with like companies being in bed with the government that's just so sad, because I don't know. It's like this knowledge was lost suddenly that corporations and government don't work well together. And people are like, this is good now. You see what they're doing. You're like, this is not
we're going to be watering our crops with Gatorade soon.
Oh, man.
The companies own the government at this point.
Always
even
have.
Was it like PSO or I don't know if it's PSO or ONG. I think it's PSO. Voted to raise everyone's electric bill by several dollars every month for the next 20 years.
Yeah,
that's insane.
I saw that.
20 years.
Yeah, man.
Crazy.
Everything is going up.
I really hope, like, to counter this, that we start getting smart enough to like support the businesses that do pop up to try to deal with this, because I think that we kind of can in a way.
Yeah,
I know like Jocko Willink's got his clothing company that they're doing, and there's a lot of people out there doing stuff like that where they're doing like American manufacturing with even textiles, because we've never done that.
Man,
I mean,
that was when America was their strongest, when we were manufacturing here, even the simple automobile plants and all that stuff. But textiles is extremely interesting because of the legalization of hemp and all the different textiles you can make with hemp. I mean, there is legit room for a borderline American revolution just in simple things like that, like owning a textile company, growing hemp, taking the control of our food supply away from someone like Tyson Foods that wants to raise the prices through the roof.
I'm on that mission, bro. Like I'm about
I
to.
love that mission,
like,
man.
Tulsa, we're gonna like. I want to like figure out how to push the gardening thing in Tulsa, like front yard gardening, backyard gardening. Figure out how to convince everyone to do it. There's no money in that except for it's just
There's community in that though.
Well, there's survivability. If we
Yeah.
were all like, if
Which
30%
is the same
of
thing, right?
yeah, if
Community.
30% of Tulsa was producing food, even if it's like one, like you have a row of okra, like one thing, and anyone can do that. You can have like a 2x4 bed on your apartment balcony and produce like enough food that at least you can like trade with your friends.
Yeah.
And
Do the bags of potatoes.
yeah. Well, if we all did that,
grow.
yeah.
If
If we were all doing that, everybody, like 30% of us at Tulsa, there would be no food problems.
Yeah.
for sure.
We would not
man.
have anything to worry about.
And I mean, think about it. They're Tyson Foods. They sell chicken pretty much, right? Chicken are extremely easy to maintain. I mean,
Most backyards can handle
most
some.
backyards can handle some chickens, man. Like there's not really a huge shortage like everyone, like they're trying to convey right now.
I hope that we are, because it does seem like there's a lot of this happening because people are kind of upset at everything.
Well, I have a meat dealer.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, I have cows in the backyard, bro.
Well,
we can get meat. But if we all do it together, then we don't have to worry about anything. Because right now we're shipping pigs like from here to China and back just to
get
them
processed in China. How insane is that?
Yeah, absolutely asinine.
I mean,
Travel farther than I do, man.
Yeah.
I've never been to China.
Me neither. What?
Pigs going to China. That's
Like, bro, you don't go anywhere but Reese's.
China comes back bacon.
It's true.
So
Caleb goes to Reese's and Jiu-Jitsu.
Caleb's just hit us with a real deep introspection there. I'm so confused.
I stay within like 4 miles of my house at all times.
I've noticed, so I'm from the country, like the pastures. And when I moved to Tulsa, Caleb is prime example, is everyone in Tulsa has like a area that they won't leave.
Yeah.
And they like, to drive 15 minutes across town for me seems like that's a short trip. But then everyone in Tulsa is like, no, that's more than like a block away from my house, so I'm not going to drive there.
Yeah. And it's like, bro, it only takes maybe 20 minutes to get anywhere.
Yeah.
I wasn't that way until I moved to Brookside, and everything was either a walking distance or within a mile or two. And I was like, yeah, see y'all never.
Yeah.
My wife and I are getting spoiled on that right now. Everything's super close. But I mean, she's funny about it. She's like, yeah, there's a coffee shop literally across the street. Do I want to drive there though? It's too far. I'm like, it's right here. And I grew up in kind of a similar situation. I grew up in small town Kansas. And I mean, my high school was a 40-minute drive away. So I drove 40 minutes to and 40 minutes back. My freshman year of high school before my family moved here. I mean, that was normal. You want to go hang out with your friends, it's 30 minutes to get to church or something like that for a youth group. And then after that, cool, we're going to drive 15 minutes here across town and drive 45 minutes back home.
I did all that, but now I don't have to. I mean,
Yeah, when I lived in Dallas, oh my gosh.
That's driving right there.
You're always driving there.
that is a high stress
It is.
environment.
It's an hour and a half. I don't care where you're going. Like
when
you can just make a decision like, oh, that don't look like it's that far. It's 15 miles. And then it's going to be an hour and a half.
When I lived in California, man,
terrible.
It breaks you. You're just like, oh, not going to get upset about this.
Yeah.
If you live in a city of like more than 1 million people, you just need to leave it. Just go
Agreed,
away.
man.
Just get out.
It's
Escape.
too much.
Yeah.
Tulsa is close to that, though.
Yeah, it's getting there.
Yeah.
And like I've been planting the seeds with my wife. I'm like, yeah, you know what sounds really nice? Like wide open pastures. Doesn't that sound awesome?
Something
Going to Montana.
about 30 minutes away.
Don't tempt me with a good time.
Oh, yeah, no doubt. Montana, you can handle that cold.
Haskell's like not bad. It's right outside of Tulsa, bro.
Yeah.
So like even the drive, once you get through Tulsa, it's just there's no one on the roads anymore. And so it's just not bad.
Yeah.
And definitely
real fast there.
when you look outside, it's like, oh, well, you know what's weird? The light pollution. when you go to Haskell and look at the stars, you can actually see them.
Mm.
You go out here right now, and
Can't see
there's not.
No, you
It's a
can't
big
see
difference.
anything.
The air's different. It's really
Yeah.
weird just to be not that far out, and that much stuff changes.
Yeah, and
I've been to Wyoming a couple of times. Like that's probably like my favorite state that I've ever been to. I've been to like the Teton National Forest a couple of times. By far the best place I've ever been to, for no reason other than the lack of pollution, the nature, the amount of stuff you just the life that you see, and when you look up at the sky, you can like see the entire freaking Milky Way galaxy. You're just like your mind is blown.
So there's a show, I don't know what it's called, but this guy goes around and like helps all these homesteaders like survive because they're failing miserably.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
So that's
Homestead rescue.
That's the thing about like Montana. Sounds pretty awesome. I'm sure it's like the most beautiful place ever. But winters are hard here, especially out in the country. I don't think most of us can handle a Montana winter. Like I don't
14 feet of snow.
Oh my
yeah,
gosh.
I don't think we're
So
quite
bad.
built for that. That's but there are actual people that like still live in the mountains out there, bro.
Oh yeah.
They're completely away from society.
But they're built different.
yeah, they're built way different, dude. They're built way different.
Talk about mental toughness.
yeah, you want to talk about fortitude, man? That's like we're not the same
No.
people.
I watched a documentary on a guy who lived in Alaska for like, I don't know, 20 years or something like that.
Ooh.
And they were, they were going down to like trying to figure out what he was eating in a day and all this. And the dude eats like 10,000 calories a day.
Because he's put in so much work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Jeez.
working. I mean, because he's having to chop wood and he's farming and all this, and he's in Alaska.
Wow.
And
Where do you get the 10,000 calories from every day?
bro, I don't know. Like, I'm assuming he's just eating like pork fat.
Bear steak.
He's eating a whole bear every day.
When you live on a farm by yourself, it's probably one thing if you got like 13 kids.
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
like that's what
Yeah.
you used to have to do. Like
You'd have to
you had
have the kids to
breed your own employees. Like you got to find a wife with some good birthing hips because you're about to breed a whole business. And but then if you're by yourself, what do you do? I mean,
Yeah.
So
that is the
screwed,
most
man.
amount of output you can do. Like
my
it is
gosh.
work. It'd be brutal.
Yeah.
I mean, you're literally having to chop the wood for your own house.
Yeah. It sucks.
Imagine that sitting there like with a little where they spooning out the wood and trying to sand it and plane it down with with an axe basically.
Yeah.
How did our ancestors make it?
Bro, I don't know how.
They were a
made it
different
here.
breed of human.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's embarrassing, isn't it?
It is embarrassing. It shows you though how it only takes a couple generations to really like lose all that.
Yeah. Don't they say a generation's what, 25 years roughly?
Yeah.
That's kind of what they say. I mean, most empires last 10 generations.
Is that really?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah. There's a whole like it's not a book, but it was just a paper written. It was just called The Fate of Empires. And one of the observations is they last about 10 generations.
Wow.
So like every empire, which comes down to what? That's about 250 years.
Yeah.
And give or take, some
Yeah.
make it like 260 or 280 even.
Yeah.
But like eventually it's just like,
yeah, it goes down.
Yeah.
Doesn't yeah.
yeah.
doesn't last
And
forever.
I think a lot of it is there's this, there's no longer a focus on these on achievement. There's no longer a focus on creation or even conquest. Like there's no focus on any of those things. And the focus becomes more like historical Take example of where the United States is at. It's looking back at historically what was bad about the U.S.'s past. Well, if you're going to look at what's bad about the past of anything, be prepared to be disappointed because everything's history sucks.
Yeah.
The history of Earth and humans. Humans.
Humanity.
Yeah, I was trying to say that and I just said humans. But I mean, the history of humans sucks. It's
Yeah.
bad.
A lot
Like
of
everybody has done some terrible things to everyone.
That's very true, man. It's and I don't know if that's just pure human nature or
I think it is.
It's nature, period. I mean,
Sure.
Nature is tooth
Yeah.
and claw. Right?
nature
Yeah.
is brutal.
Nature's brutal.
Yeah.
We have a utopian like pipe dream.
For sure.
Yeah.
And but because like people are so separated from actual reality of nature, like You follow like Nature's Metal on Instagram? You ever seen that?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Nature's Metal
It is the best page.
Really?
Oh yeah, dude. It's just
I'm
like
plugging in.
antelope getting eaten alive by a crocodile or
yeah,
something like that.
yeah.
I'm literally gonna like follow this right now.
Oh yeah,
I
there's
need
a
to
few
watch
of them. Nature's Metal is probably my favorite one. There's a few different ones, but that's the thing. So used to the steppe in Russia was like out. It's called the mother of nations, right? So like every great empire, Genghis Khan and all that came out of there, and the reason was like because life was so hard, and they were literally like everything they ate, they pretty much had to kill, and the babies are like sitting there in a bloodbath, from the beginning, getting first pick of this raw antelope or whatever.
Yeah.
So you imagine like the type of mentality that breeds, and that's why they literally conquered the world from the steppe out.
Yeah.
And they just pushed back every other nation around, and they pushed China all the way to the shores. They pushed all the way into Europe, and basically they were so good at war, like everyone had to push out of there. But we've gone so far now that people literally don't know. Like I saw a thing on TikTok the other day where the guy said that strawberry milk was vegan because he don't know where milk comes from. And so and I know for a fact there's a bunch of people out here that have no idea that cows are where steak comes from.
I've heard that before. Somebody's like, "Oh, I don't kill any animals. I get my meat from the supermarket." And you're like, "Okay,
I legit have, and I don't even hunt. I would love to, but I've legit had multiple conversations with people at work about that who were like, yeah, I love hamburgers, but I don't like hurting animals, and like this is the opposite. You're doing.
Yeah,
I'm vegan because I don't kill the cow that I eat.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm vegan because my food is vegan.
Yeah, my food eats vegan.
All right, man, Josiah, I really appreciate you coming on, man.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. What's the name of your book again, and where can people get it?
So the book is Make Your Meals Epic.
Make Your Meals Epic.
You can find it on Amazon. You don't even need to type in my name to find it. You just type in Make Your Meals Epic. And if you buy the book and you like it, I would love it if you could leave me a 5-star review on Amazon. That would be fan-freaking-tastic.
Awesome.
I want to hear the feedback and want to hear what people like, what they don't like, and see how I can make it better. If you're in Broken Arrow and you want to join a gym to help you establish like steps and routines, my gym, the Hub Gym in Broken Arrow. We got a whole bunch of things going on, man, and we're having a party.
Awesome, man. Thank you so much for coming on. Hopefully we'll get you back soon, and really appreciate your time.
Heck yeah, man.